I think that you can't get away from the fact that Boris Johnson was the rule maker and therefore shouldn't be the rule breaker. Now, I do appreciate that some of the rules were a bit confusing at the margins. I think the basic ones at the time made sense. As a result of that, the public were prepared to follow them. But you still have this problem that regardless of whether the rules were right or wrong or whatever, that Boris Johnson should have known what they were. Certainly that the people who worked in Number 10 should know what they were. They should be setting an example. And I don't think it's good enough to say, oh, well, it was only a minor breach or whatever. We've got to wait and see whether the Met Police will come up with other fines for the Prime Minister when he could be in real trouble. With the vote tomorrow probably will go the Prime Minister's way. He's heavily whipping his own party. And of course, one of the major problems of that for Tories who actually want to get rid of him is if they vote to send him to the Privileges Committee, they could well be lose the whip in the parliamentary party. And of course, that means their letter of no confidence doesn't mean a jot. Their letter won't count anymore. So we find the extraordinary situation about tomorrow's vote where Tory MPs who have written letters of no confidence in the Prime Minister, who want to get rid of him, will have to vote to stop him going to Privileges Committee. So as I say, I just don't think that one's going to go anywhere.
That's fascinating. You think it's a real prospect that people who may vote with Sir Keir Starmer tomorrow may well lose the Conservative whip?
Yes, well, it's happened before, hasn't it? But just before the 2019 election, Boris Johnson withdrew the whip from a number of MPs. That caused them real difficulties because obviously as the election approached, they couldn't actually stand as a Tory MP in their constituency unless they got the whip back. So if you break a three-line whip, the penalty for that is to lose the whip. Doesn't mean that he will necessarily do it, but that threat is out there. And that means that those people, we know of 14 who have put letters in, I suspect it's probably somewhere in the region of 25 or 30, they will have to vote for the government if they want those letters to count.